Hi everyone, make yourself comfortable. Goodness, I've got the sunshine on me, haven't I already? Wait 1 minute whilst you make yourself comfortable. I should just pull the curtain. There, that makes it a little bit easier. And coming into a comfortable seat, just take a few moments to really anchor down into your sit bones. Feel the weight of the body releasing down through the spine and to earth. Feeling that sense of contact, as if you were standing, your feet upon the earth. Feel that same contact through the base of the body. Every part of you is in contact with earth. And allowing your eyes to shut, if they're not already. And from the base of the spine, become aware of your breath rising up through you, up along the spine. Following that passage of energy up through the spine into the crown of the head. So through the skull to the crown. And then as you breathe out, you can follow the flow of energy downwards through the front of the body, connecting back to the base of the spine. So as you breathe, you're creating a current of breath, current of energy through the body, rising up from the back of the body, along the spine, releasing downwards as you breathe out, down along the front of the spine. Take a few moments to feel the flow of your breath. As a continuous cycle within you. Feeling this sense of cultivating a sphere of energy running through you with each breath. And as your breath makes contact with the base of the spine, and your body makes contact with the earth, a few moments to feel the earth stretching away from you in all directions. And yet, feeling yourself connected in that vastness to its surface. And eyes opening again. So making earth contact is the theme of today's class in our series of well-being on a yoga mat. Really how we feel grounded with the earth and how we set the relationship with the earth, because that kind of, in a sense, how we do choose to plant the feet or whatever part of the body is in contact with the earth holding us, how we kind of set that relationship and then infuse that relationship with intention, really kind of flavors then our other relationships with other objects around us, with nature, with other people around us, ultimately with ourselves, with the colour one puts into that, the feeling tone one puts into that. Unless we feel grounded, but everything else is literally up in the air. The head is kind of disconnected from the body down to earth. And all those thoughts are just kind of floating around, literally like little kind of sparks of energy that arrive, they pass, they arise, they pass. Nothing to ground it though, to bring it down to earth, into the body, into our senses, so we can experience it and enjoy it more fully. So that's where we're going this morning. And we're going to start just lifting up the feet, fraction off the floor. You're hugging them into the body. And when you're there, you can just rock a little bit forwards and backwards, letting the feet hang. And finding your balance point at the base of the body. Sit bones to earth. Now drawing in your belly, and you'll immediately find that the chest lifts a little bit as you do this. And you just feel a little bit more space through the body, a little bit more stature through the body. Have a few rounds of breath, and we then hug around the backs of the knees, and we're going to come down onto the spine and rock forwards and backwards for a few breaths. So use your breath to travel forwards and backwards. You can go right up onto the shoulders as the spine wakes up to really energize the spine. When you've done that a few times, we're going to come up, and we're going to come up with our feet hovering off the floor. So you just pause there, feet off the mat, and you're going to let your feet hang and sway a little bit. Elbows out to the sides. Immediately you do that, you probably have to activate the core a little bit more, the elbows lifting up. Make sure the chin is level with the neck. And an in-breath, very slowly. We'll lift the toes up a little bit, pointing them out in front of us. Keep holding on to the thighs. Out breath, taking them back down. Another in-breath, toes pointing. And out breath, back down. And once you arrive back down then, coming into standing, feet hips width apart from one another, and arriving into a forward fold. Now, nice easy forward fold to start with, and I'd like you to put a little bit of sway into the spine, down at the base of the spine, so from side to side a little bit, maybe figure of eights. Just do what feels good for you here, but a little bit of movement in your forward fold. And then easing off that movement, coming into the central line in your forward fold, and we'll lift the heels off the floor. So you're in forward fold, balance on the balls of the feet. And then you're going to anchor your heels down. Hooray, it feels nice and stable again. And you're going to lift the toes up. Planting the toes down again. Lift up the heels. You're back onto the balls of the feet. You're in balance. Now draw your belly inwards towards the base of the spine. And start to plant the heels down. Your feet arriving on the mat, and you're lifting up and into standing, arriving into Tadasana. Arrive into Tadasana now, feet hips width apart from one another. And we're doing more or less the same as we were doing in that forward fold. Breathing in, we'll lift the heels up off the mat. A nice steady gaze. As you lift there, arms floppy by the sides of the body. Just check you're not tensing shoulders at all. Out breath, heels down, toes lifting. Again, you can just check the shoulders, nice and relaxed. Toes down, heels lifting. Going from one to the other. Nice and steady. It's moving in and out of balance from heels to the toes. And then we all meet heels lifting. Just check the arms again. And just bring the belly in and out a few times, quite forcefully, almost like you're doing a Bhastrika breath, you know, when you do breath of fire. And then out breath, planting heels down. In breath, arms floating up shoulder height. Your palms are down here. Now just shrug out the shoulders a couple of times. Feel that movement out into your fingertips. And letting your arms then relax. Now you can imagine you've got a big beach ball underneath the palms, the armpits. And so you're resting your arms on that beach ball. Now a strong belly to spine. Immediately you've got your core focused. And then we turn the palms up to the ceiling. Now palms turned up. Now flex your wrists away from you. So your fingers are pointing down. Just shrug out the shoulders there a little bit in case they're rising. Stretch out into your little finger now. Really ease it away from you. You'll notice it wakes up this whole little line of energy up to the heart. And we'll take a deep in-breath, arms floating up. Palms will meet, the gaze will come up. And we'll hold there a few breaths, lifting the chest to ceiling. Feeling the front of the body as much as the back of the body. And feeling your feet anchored down to the mat. Another in-breath and out-breath. Find your way down into forward fold. Hinge through the waist as you arrive. Again, a little bit of movement in your forward fold. And then feeling both feet very firmly anchored, start to lift up and your arms will rise as you lift. And breathing out, hands to the heart. An in-breath now, reach up with your right hand as your left hand reaches down. A bit like you had your hands to either sides of the body. You want the wrists to be flexed, fingers spreading away from you. So you feel that sense of distance and connection between the right hand lifting up the ceiling, left hand pressing down to earth. Soft shoulders. Hips will come out to the sides of the body as you come into a side stretch. And with the hips away from that center point, tilting your center of gravity, you will feel yourself in balance. You have to really strongly anchor down that right foot, its outer edge, to the floor to keep steady. The more you take the hips out, the more your center of gravity is tilting outside from the framework of the body, and you've got to really anchor the feet to hold yourself steady. You tilt your chest to the ceiling, gaze up, breathe into the back of the body, and out breath, right hand coming down. Coming to the other side. So starting with the left hand lifting up, palm up to lift up the ceiling, right hand stretching down away from that left hand, shoulders soft, draw in the belly, really activate the core here. And once you feel very stable, weight into both legs, then you're taking your hips out to the left hand side, feel the center of gravity tilt, and left hand will stretch out and over. You're into the side stretch. Feel the glue on that inner edge, on the outer edge of your left foot, your little toe edge. Next breath, look to the ceiling. Nice deep breath there. And your left hand arriving back down again. So a big in-breath now, both palms floating up. And once you've got them there, palms facing one another, we'll lift up through the heels. Find the balls of the feet and feel your roots through the balls of the feet into the earth, stretching out in all directions. So even though you haven't got the heels down, it doesn't actually matter because you've got the roots through the balls of the feet and those are holding you steady, we hope, as I wobble. Now heels are going to lift and we're going to come into a forward fold. So look forwards here. Start to bend the knees. Keep the heels lifted. Hold the balls of the feet steady with the earth. Heels still lifted as you come down. Feel your center of gravity change. Fingers to the floor if you'd like to. And we push a little bit of sway either sides of the body as we're doing in our regular Uttanasana. We're now going to come up into chair pose. The balls of the feet, the heels of the feet are still lifted, so you're still balanced on the balls. Fingers lifting, you can take them a little bit behind you. Keep the balls of the feet connected, heels still lifted as the arms float up. And you're in chair, balanced on the balls of the feet. The gaze can come up. And a few deep breaths there. We're now going to start to plant down the heels very slowly, peeling it down. Take your time. Feel that sense of connectivity between all of the foot now and the earth. The stability in both legs, the strength in both legs. And we breathe all the way from the feet up to the crown of the head. Into the sky above us. Another deep breath. And back down to earth. As you breathe out, one more. Start to fold your way down and into a forward fold. And arriving there, going to come into a side twist, but bending your knees, left elbow over to the right side of the body, over to the right knee, both hands on top of one another. Press the lower hand, the left hand, up to meet the right hand, right elbow to the ceiling. Hands in prayer, over to the other side. Right elbow to the left knee. Right hand presses up to meet the left palm, hands in prayer. Left elbow to the ceiling. One more full round of breath here.
and both hands coming down. Now turn to the short edge of your mat if you're not there, and then from that point, in breath, offering your spine forward. Shrug your shoulders back here. Lift the belly up towards the base of the spine. So keep that core connection. Drawing the whole spine forward along its length. Another in-breath. And out-breath, palms coming down to the floor. And we'll step back and into down dog. Now we'll lift up through the heels in down dog. So you really do feel connectivity again with the balls of the feet. You may find you can lift your toes as well as the heels here. And drawing your thighs up and back. So imagine someone's pulling the thighs back behind you. And then you can start to root down through your heels. Make sure they're turned slightly out away from one another, down to the floor. Use the heel of your hand like a launch pad, lifting up the fingers a fraction off the floor. You'll feel the heel of the hand, and you can then root down through the fingers, fingertips to earth, and almost draw the fingertips away from you to connect with the heel of the hand. Spine rising up, gazing out through the knees into the space behind you. A deep in-breath. We're going to start to come forwards, almost like you're riding on the curve of a wave with your in-breath through and knees coming down. And a deep out-breath. You're arriving back and into child, hands out in front of you. Now an active child here, so come up onto your fingertips, followed down to the floor. One more round of breath here. And your palms coming down. Lift the head now, so you're looking forward. Look past your hands, out into the space in front of you. And breathing in, keeping that gaze out in front of you. We'll slide forward onto the belly. In breath, lifting to cobra. And out breath, toes tucking under. And we're lifting up through the body. So you're kind of almost in an up dog here. And then draw the core up, almost coming onto all fours. And then we'll lift up the knees. You've arrived in plank. Keep gazing forward. And breathe out now. Start to hinge back into your heels. Into down dog. In breath, heels lifting. And out breath, we'll bring the feet forward up towards the hands to the top of the mat. With in breath, off your spine. Out breath, folding. In breath, come up to rise, breathe in. And out breath, arriving back to heart. Now we'll see how we go with the next bit. It's really just to cultivate balance and almost lose that sense of resistance to moving in and out of balance, to kind of almost normalize it. So don't worry at all. I'm sure I'm going to get the wobbles and go all over the shop here. But it's just quite fun to kind of almost just move in and out, in and out. What are we going to do? You may be asking. We're going to lift the right leg up, breathe in, breathing out, stretch it out behind you. You're riding on the ball of a foot. Breathe in, arms lifting. Out breath, we're going to step back forward, bringing the right knee up to the front of the mat and lifting. Breathing out, you're going to step back, come straight into the high lunge. Out breath,
Root down to the left foot, right knee lifts up again, and back you go again with it. So just take a few moments to work with this. Forwards and backwards. Sometimes it may feel stable. Sometimes it may feel the opposite. Keep breathing your way through it. Really plant feet down. Root down into the left leg. And one more. So we're all going to meet, stepping back with the right foot into the high lunge, gazing skywards. And then out breath, your arms are slowly going to float down. Really slowly. Feel the weight of the body. Slowly come to earth. Feel your center of gravity slowly change. Hands to the mat. From here we're opening into triangle. So now plant your back foot down to the floor. It's anchored. The front knee is bent. So to kind of straighten it, you'll either have to bring the hand to the shin and slide it up, or else you might have your hand on the block or fingertips to the little toe edge. Right hand will lift. Open up into triangle. And from here, we're going to bring the right arm down. And we're going to step up with the right foot to the top of the mat. So both feet will be together, but the right knee is going to then lift up. So the right knee is now lifted up behind you. You'll balance like a heron or something on that left leg. Start to stretch up through the right leg. Folding down along the length of the left leg. And right leg floating down to the mat. Back in Uttanasana, anchor your feet, hips width apart. Really enjoy that sense of connectivity through feet, both sides, a little bit of sway again from side to side. And coming up to rise, rooting down through both legs to earth, arms floating up. And out breath, arriving back and into heart. But straight away onto the other side, right leg is now the anchor leg. In breath, left knee lifts. So notice the difference in balance as you step back with the left leg into the high lunge from side to side. Probably find one leg just feels a little bit kind of more secure than the other. Just enjoying in a way that feeling of uncertainty. Because the one thing about balance, you can't really be sure what's going to happen next, can you? It kind of either does happen or it doesn't, and then you're moving out anyway. So whatever you were feeling kind of changes to the next kind of sensation. Keep flowing with your breath. A few more rounds. Really anchor down into the ball of the feet. The slower you can actually anchor that left foot down, the more secure you'll actually feel, because you'll really feel steady as it lands. We'll take one more. Hold it. And in breath, lifting up. We're all meeting the high lunge. Keep the ball of the back foot very anchored. Start to float down your arms. Take your time here so you really feel the shift of gravity. And you feel your center of gravity change. Hands to the mat, back foot's anchored.
So we're coming into triangle here. You're either sliding that right hand up the leg to straighten it up, else blocks, or fingertips on the outer edge of the third. Left arm floats up. Few breaths here. And right hand floating down. So coming into the stalky bird thing now, right leg's bare. We're going to step that left foot forward. You're bending that left knee. It's tucked in behind the right leg. And then we're going to lift it up and stretch out into the left leg. And you're folding down the right leg. Right foot, left foot coming down. Both feet anchored again. And then your heels lifting. So coming up to rise on the balls of the heels. Start to lift up, take your time. We'll have the legs straight. We'll lift the arms up over the head. And out breath. As the hands come to the heart, heels will come to earth. Few breaths arriving in the heart. Then eyes opening again. And turning so you're facing forwards down your mat. Both feet together. Just going to do a few moments of walking meditation. The reason being so you can really then fine tune the focus on that whole process of lifting the foot, moving into space, planting the foot down again. So go as slowly as you can here. So you feel all parts of the foot taking up contact from the floor, moving into that unknown, the air, planting down. So starting with lifting the right foot, we'll start to peel the heel off the floor, coming up onto the ball of the foot, all the way up onto the tip of the right toe, and then lifting it. Start to move it through space, and then peeling that foot back down, planting it down, the heel first, all the way down along the length of the foot, to the ball, to the toes. And once the toes have anchored, weight through the whole of the right foot as you start to peel up your left foot, from the heel up to the ball, the tip of the left foot, lifting it, moving it, planting it, heel towards the big toe pad. Onto the other side, peel it up slowly. See where the contact then finishes. You're in space, moving it through space, planting it there. Keep on going. You notice your mind wandering at all. Keep coming back to the sensation, contact with earth. And coming up to the end of your mat, you're then going to turn the feet around. So you're facing back down now, along the mat again.
Do one more circuit. Lifting, moving, planting. Keeping awareness focused, all parts of that flow. It takes you from one step to the next. Anchoring the mind into all parts of movement, the flow, moment to moment. And we'll all arrive up at the top of the mat. Feet hips width apart. Now the next part, we can either come into tree if you'd like to, so your right leg will lift and you'll plant it wherever you want to, using hand to bring the foot a little higher, else you can plant it down towards the ankle. Whatever you want. If you want to go a step further and take this into a bit of a hip opener, lifting up your right leg, planting it across your left thigh, so you've got that right angle shape. And then you may want to just bow forwards, take your time, bowing forwards towards the earth. And you can hook that left elbow inside the right foot, right elbow out towards your right knee. Wherever we all are, we're going to slowly find our way back up and down. Arriving back into Tadasana, take your hips out to one side, over to the other, and hands on the hips. We just rotate the center of gravity as we kind of swivel the hips around. So onto the other side now. Left foot either on the lower right calf, else reaching down to the ankle, planting it in the right thigh. Otherwise, crossing the left foot over the right thigh, right angling it, and slowly you can find your way down, bowing down towards earth. Right elbow hooked inside the right foot, left elbow to left knee. I thought I had that the wrong way round. Start coming up, coming down if you're in tree, whoop, and left foot down. Big stretch out now, side stretch, right arm coming up and over. Take the right hand down, left hand up and over. Left hand down, eyes shutting. Shrug your shoulders now up towards your ears, eyes shut. And breathing in, holding the shoulders there, up near the ears. Just make sure your arms are hanging either sides, belly to spine. And pausing after an in-breath, no breath in the body, or the breath is inside the body. Suspending breath. When you're ready to breathe out, let the shoulders down, spine to rise. Do that one more time. In breath, shoulders to ears, and pausing breath inside the body. Out breath, releasing everything downwards to earth. Do that one more time, your own pace. Few moments standing. Full contact, feet to earth. Earth stretching out all directions around you. Become aware of the body breathing. Any sounds around you. Any smells. Any changes in temperature you notice. Breathing in, sense the energy rising within you as you breathe in, up along the spine. Breathing out, energy flowing downwards, releasing to earth. Bringing a flow of gratitude into the breath. And hands to heart. And we'll start to fold our way downwards, forward fold, hands to earth, and from there, taking the feet back so you can come into kneeling, and from kneeling we'll come into a small child, forward to the floor and hands out either sides behind you. Start to lift your spine up now. So you're arriving up into kneeling. If you're comfortable in kneeling, we're coming to a twist here. If you want to stretch your legs out in front of you and come into your twist that way, that's another version you could do. It's slowly unfolding the spine to the left. And find your way over to the right. Arriving back into center line. Feet coming out in front of you now. And again, we'll hug the knee as we were at the start of the class. We'll hug the back of the thighs, feet just hovering off the floor. Now notice if your spine wants to tilt there, drawing up into the core. In breath, knees lifting up. Out breath, feet coming down. Another in breath, knees lifting up. And out breath, coming back down. Do one more. And then we're going to plant the feet down now to the floor. Bringing your thumbs to the soles of the feet, right in the center, then prizing the soles of the feet apart from one another. So if you're opening the pages of a book here. Nice diamond shape through the legs. Now in breath, lifting up through the spine. And then the out breath, take it through the mouth and breathe all the way down to the base of the spine. And hold that connectivity with the base of the spine. And at the base of the spine, now start to rotate the spine in very small circles. And as you settle into this, you can start to make those circles a little bit bigger. But hold your awareness at that point of contact of spine with the pelvis. And taking that circle the opposite way. You may want to shut eyes to start with and really keep the circle very small. You kind of fine-tune your focus on that sensation, on the connection of spine down to pelvis to earth. You can open up then into the circle, into its parameters, a little bit more. And then riding back into the still point. Lift through spine. And we'll draw the knees back together. So just come into one last round of doing a boat kind of thing. This time you may want to come into a full boat. If not, bring the hands still behind the backs of the knees for that support. Into full boat, the arms will lift, the legs will lift. Find your anchor point and sit bones. Keep the spine lifting. A couple of breaths here. And the next out breath, we'll take it out through the mouth, down to the base of the spine. Legs coming down. And folding forwards, reach forward through the spine, down along the length of the legs. Head folding in, last of all. And then your arms can come forwards, either to the feet, to the legs, or to either sides of the floor. In breath, slide your way back up. And we're riding down now onto the spine. The knees are bent.
And we'll hug the knees into the chest. Arms can come out either sides of the body. And taking the knees over to the right hand side, both knees together. Both knees back up and over to the left hand side. Knees back to the center line. Hands on the tops of the knees. You just may want to rock forwards, backwards, from side to side. Just massage out the lower spine a little bit. And then feet to the floor. And we'll stretch out the legs in turn. And you're arriving into Shavasana, arms by the sides of the body, palms up. And finding stillness. Arriving in Shavasana, feel contact through the back of the body with the earth. From the skull, to shoulders, the arms, hands, running down along the length of the spine, to pelvis, legs, heels, and breathing out down through the body to earth. Letting yourself relax with gravity to earth. Become aware now of lightness, the front of the body, open to sky. And resting deep inside yourself. If you'd like to stay here for a little bit longer in your Shavasana, then do feel free to do so. Otherwise, starting to move fingers together and toes from side to side.
Feeling your breath flowing up through the body, releasing downwards. And taking the arms out over the head, stretching the fingers away from the body as you point your toes away from you. Full body stretch. And then bringing arms down, and you'll roll over onto the side of the body, knees bent. And coming up and into sitting again. So arrive in your comfortable seat for a few moments, hands just resting on the lap or on the knees. And drawing up through the spine, eyes shutting. Feel the earth. And from the earth, your energy rising from the base, spine, up along its length. Energy releasing, being held by the earth. And infusing the flow of your energy, the flow of your breath. The sense of gratitude. When you're ready to close your practice, hands to the heart. And bowing the head to greet the heart. And to greet yourself and each other. Thank you.